And welcome back, and after flying out that absolute dumpster fire that is the MiG-23M, I decided I'm gonna take out the F-5E Tiger II, and this thing has been an absolute blast, especially compared to yesterday. I've been having some fun again, which is nice, because well, I've been going through all these ass planes. Sea Vixen is coming up as well, which I'm not going to enjoy, but you know, it is what it is. I have quite a number of things for you today. I'm gonna start off with some highlights here, just so I can do the intro without wasting the footage that I want to comment on. But there's a number of ways of flying this thing, and for you I have two 6-kill games. One is a long carry where I'm last alive versus 3 or 4 people, and then the other one it's 6 kills while the enemy team is alive, my team is alive, and it's kind of a team fight. And then I have another ace, which is more of a drop in, pretend to be a Beyblade, fly out kind of deal. And you just have a plethora of ways of flying this thing, which is great. It gives you a lot of options, and you're not really limited, not like with the MiG-23 where you have to be a certified boom and zoomer, but even in that role you don't really fit. You're not very fast, you're not gonna outrun anyone. Luckily, if you go around Mach 1, Mach 0.95, as I say in every F5 video, what's going to happen is that your thrust weight is going to be almost 1 on lower fuel loads. And you can abuse this, you can use this to climb to orbit or climb above someone, and then you can cut them off, dive on them. And that's a little trick that I've been using quite often, and that's turning your radar off here and there to sneak up on people. Especially when they're alone, especially when they're not really paying attention, and you can spike them from below, because a lot of people are not looking below or straight above. And if you're straight below someone, a lot of times what will happen is the spotting system will not actually pick you up. If the spotting system doesn't pick you up, the spotting system also doesn't pick up the missile, and if they are not looking right at you and that missile is coming in, they don't see the diamond, they're going to die. If they're getting a RWR warning, like the little bleeping sound, they're going to know you're there. And even if they don't see you, they might just start spamming flares, and we all know flares, or at least it feels this way. Flares have been buffed quite a little bit, which makes sure that your missiles really like going for them. So sneaking up on people is definitely very important in this thing, because if everyone keeps their speed up, if everyone always sees you, you're not going to be accomplishing a lot unless your aim is really good. And something I see a lot of guys do is dive on the first guy they see and start chasing them. If you dive on a 21 bis or an F-104 or an F-4E and you're not cutting them off, you're not like actually catching them, you see you're being outrun, don't bother chasing them. If you do that, you're both not going to play the game, because you're just on a 6, he's just going to run away from you, and no one is going to try to reverse you. No one is dumb enough to even attempt it. So that's a very fine line with this thing, unless your aim is absolutely extraordinary between being alive, because it's very easy to stay alive in this thing, don't get me wrong. You have flash, you have maneuverability, you have good thrust, but you also have to get kills. You have to be effective, and you can be a disruptor. You don't have to get kills that way to be effective, but how are you going to get RP, how are you going to get silver lines if you're not getting any kills? So you need to find your own balance, and I'm gonna give you 3 different playstyles in this video on how to fly this thing and how to stay alive. The MiG-21 bis I crit, crashes into the ground and doesn't give me a kill. And this was what I was talking about earlier. I'm being very low on the deck here, I'm going Mach 1.1, and my thrust right now is absolutely out the ass. Turned my radar off, I'm getting below him, he's not getting any sort of warning, and I'm gonna get very very close to him. I broke Mach, he breaks Mach right now, but I'm so close that it doesn't really matter. Shoot a short burst off, set him on fire, and he's going to be dead. And it's gonna be game number 1. Well, I kind of go to the sideline and I'm looking for these stragglers. I'm looking for these people that are kind of offset. Turn my radar off yet again, because I'm spiking people right now. I'm going very very aggressive. Just before I cut the footage, I looked around, I know there's no one here. I use my radar, because if you turn the radar on, your dots will be spotted much further away. So I look around, look for spots, turn the radar back off, start engaging people. Missile on the F-4C, no way. Missile on the F-4E, he notices, he saw that his friendly died, and he starts turning into me. But right now I'm actually going faster than him, and he's not going to be outrunning me. So he is forced to turn, and when you're forced to turn in a Phantom versus this thing, yeah, it's simply not going to happen. I run 20 minutes of fuel, you can run min fuel just fine. Mostly the games are short enough. I just prefer having just that little bit more endurance, and it has won me some games. And to be honest, min fuel I just don't like getting strafed, and I don't like using AA, so I'd rather not have to go towards the base at all, because you have plenty of ammo. You have 560 rounds of 20 mil, which should be more than enough to kill at least 4 people. You also have these missiles, and going head on is an absolute blast in this thing, especially when people don't like pulling out, and that's 3 kills very very quickly. And now we are going towards the middle of the map. MiG-21 on my 6, Going on with a friendly. Notice that there's now 2 guys in the area. Pre-firing a little bit. I have 45 pops anyway, so I'm not really worried about them. And that GSH-23 is absolutely ass to aim, as we all saw yesterday in the MiG-23 video. And if you want to see me have an absolute mental breakdown flying the MiG-23, feel free to check out the video from yesterday as well. I'm still in physical pain from flying the MiG-23M. Luckily the F-5E has been a great antidote, and I've been well, actually enjoying War Thunder for a little bit. Thrust out of the airs, and it fixes most of the problems that I had with the F-5A. Just the thrust makes it so that you have time in between fights to just regain your speed and start dogfighting again. The radar is something I don't really use a lot. RWR is nice to have, but you don't really need it. Sometimes it's nice though to just have a little bit of a warning, a little bit of a heads up. Wondered how that missed, so I went into the replay and I just got a bunch of fucking sparks. Those missed. But the first one, I didn't know how it missed, and that's a little bit later on as well. And I've been having this a lot lately, where I'm shooting people and I'm like, how did I miss that? And I just go to the replay and you see all these black puffs, you know, like you see an entire streak of puffs on the enemy plane. And you're like, really now? Is this how I have to get my kill stolen from me? Luckily, I got a second shot in, and the roll rate at those speeds is a little bit finicky. It's kind of weird. Luckily, you're maneuverable enough to stay on someone. And especially at high speeds, you retain your energy really, really well, because you have almost that 1-to-1 thrust away. You don't pull the most amount of AOA, and this makes it both very pushy once it gets on your 6 and it's close enough, but also very good in the defensive posture. And I will show you that after this game, where I'm kind of just defensive flying for like 2 minutes straight. But kill him. We go to finish off the MiG-21 MF. He has been severely crippled. Shoot him a little bit up the ass, get set on fire, and that's gonna be game 1. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna defense fly for about, I think, 1.5 to 2 minutes. You'll see in the progress bar down below when the next game starts. I'm not gonna be getting any kills, but we're going to be dogfighting, defensive flying, dodging missiles, pre-firing, and I'm doing all of that because people just really like to stick on this thing. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why you would even consider doing it, but that F4F did a 180 for me, and right now I'm outrunning him. I can understand, he's probably going to catch me in the long run, so there was a dot above me or somewhere in the area. Not sure if it's an AI or if it's an enemy fighter, which is actually extremely annoying. So I just flared a little bit. Barely dodged that one. Notice it wasn't going for the flare, so I had to pull back out, and as you saw, that missile was pretty damn close. Still turning, trying to not black out, because well, this thing actually pulls so nicely that it blacks out all the time. Dodged another R60, but barely, and I'm not sure why, but these flares, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I know I'm using my afterburner still, but when I shoot it at other people, it really likes going for the flares, even though their afterburners are still on and are almost stalled out. And I'm going pretty fast here, and as you notice, I'm keeping this speed quite nicely. I'm just kind of spamming these flares off. I'm trying to dodge as many missiles as I can, because every missile I dodge means they probably will get a kill less, or at least potentially. And they're still all on me. I'm not sure what they're trying to accomplish here. They're clearly not hitting me, they're clearly not hitting the missiles, and I'm just keeping the speed so easily. And the main thing is here that I'm blacking out a lot. I have to keep tapping that negative elevator, and otherwise I will just lose control. And if I lose control in this situation, I am going to die. Notice that the MiG-23 is in front of me, as well as the F4F. Well, he was about to be in front of me. He gets missiled out of the air because he's stalled out with an F-5E. And this is the strength of the F5. You can defensive fly all day long. Of course, against 21 bisses and stuff, it's going to be a little bit more tricky. But it's a pretty capable aircraft, as you can see. And now we regain our speed extremely fast again by simply diving a little bit. And you need to be careful, however, at these high speed defensive rolls, because you're going to compress actually. You need to make sure that you don't. So you actually sometimes keep so much speed that you can't pull out of the way of an R60, and then you just die. Go on with the MiG-23, but he trades in head-on with an F-4E. Not sure how you even lose that, or how you even trade in that. The F-4E should win that 95% of the times. And that's going to be the defensive flying, and he's going to be, well, not really a carry, 6 kill game. Shoot a little bit in head-on, predict when he turns in. He did it exactly what I thought he would, and I blow him out of the air. And the Su-17 is actually a damn annoying aircraft, because it really likes soaking your bullets. It really likes soaking your cannon rounds. Notice I'm getting a radar ping, or radar spike, not sure what I call it, RWR. I'm gonna dive to the deck. It's not an FGR, so it should lose lock, and it does. And we're going to pull up over that gun, and we are going to pull back into him, because we are very close to the map border here, and if he tries to run away from me, I will actually catch him. Well, not in the short run. He will definitely outrun me for now, But he's gonna hit that map border and he has to go either left or right. And if he does, I will be able to cut him off. I'm about to go Mach 1 again. And this is the magic number where you just start accelerating out the ass. Even if you are maneuvering, you don't really lose speed. You're just gonna keep it, as you saw in the previous segment as well. And there he goes. He's going into the map border. He starts turning very, very sharply. And I'm like, I'm just gonna shoot an AIM-9J at him. And he disappears. Yeah, very cool. Doesn't really matter, however, because I'm gonna be pulling into him very handily here, pulling 12 Gs. He crashes into the ground. Kinda unfortunate, because that could have been kill number 7. But you know, a dead phantom is a dead phantom. Now we go head on back to the main fight, because well, I need to do something. And I'm just waiting a little bit for something to pop up. There's an F5, it's probably gonna be C, because there's not many E's around as of yet. Spray a little bit in head on, get a crit. I'm gonna pull into him here, trying to get the recommit. But he's probably running less fuel than me, because most F5Cs run min fuel. Try to dodge the shot by going underneath him, but he's actually going for my teammate, so false alarm. He's pre-flaring a little bit. I'm gonna be turning back into him right here. Don't manage to get the shot, and you can tell that the difference in speed here, because he has the F-5E engines, and the fact that he has probably less fuel than me, that's not confirmed, but I think he does. Make sure that he just turns so much tighter than me, it's kind of ridiculous. MiG-23M on my 6, not the biggest worry in the world, especially considering he already has a teammate on him. He's getting sprayed down completely, just pre-firing, so he can't really R60 me, out-turning him at this point, and he gets hosed down, and he dies. Go back in with the F5, F5C that we know at this point. He's crit, he's probably not going to pull out because he's damaged, and he's going to get a little bit more, what you call it, desperate. So I spray a little bit more to secure the kill, and he does exactly what I thought he would. Shoot a missile up the F5C. Don't manage to hit it, but it doesn't matter. Second guy on my 6. Looking what he does, but also look where the F5C is going, because I don't want to get reversed because I'm looking behind me, because that would be pretty damn unfortunate. Shoot a little bit below the F5C. Trying to get a shot in here. Don't manage to hit it. Pulls out of the way for the second burst. But now I thought I'm getting shot at, but no, it's my F4C that's about 3 kilometers behind the F5, and he's basically shooting closer to me than he is to the teammate. He's neck G'ing and very predictable shot. Shoot a little bit below him and he pulls right into it. Another F4E and another F5 coming in. Again, not sure which one it is, but I'm gonna assume an F5C, and it is yet again. Get a hit in the head on, get a crit in the head on actually, and that's his wing. We're gonna be turning back in here, looking who to clean up. The F4E is pretty slow, so I kind of want to kill him first since the F5 is already basically dead. But the F5C is presenting himself, and I just go for him, and then I will extend for the F4E just a bit later. He doesn't have the acceleration here to get away. He seems to be a little bit damaged, not sure if he's crit or not, but he's gonna be falling into my guns here. Shoot a bit, get a crit, get a kill. And last guy here, MiG-23. Got crit at the start, he had to land, and he really likes his airfield. So I'm coming in from the side here, forgot to turn my radar off, but it didn't really seem to matter too much, because he's gonna pull right into me. And we're going to, well, take his wing off, and he's gonna go fly into a house and say, honey, I'm home. And here we go, pretty long game actually, and I'm gonna be alone versus a few people. It's a mixed game, because well, America is on both sides as of late. Get a radar spike, dodge by turning into him, pre-flare a little bit in case he also shoots an AIM-9J at me. I don't really want that, and he flies off, and I'm going to be fine. Extending upwards here because I'm going my magic 0.95 number, and I will run this phantom down, and look at my speed, it's basically not dropping at all. I'm gonna shoot an AIM-9J at him. He's pretty high, he's pretty slow. It might hit, might not. He managed to dodge it, turning his afterburners off and flaring, but he's pretty damn slow here, and I'm just going to shoot him down, set him on fire, and that's going to be kill number 1. I'm going to be diving in here. He burns up almost instantaneously. Going for the MiG-23. Don't manage to get a lead in. Don't manage to kill him because, well, I'm compressing a little bit and I just didn't have the pull there. Going on with the F5. Notice that the MiG-23 is a little bit closer. And I think here I shoot his missile out of the air. I'm not completely sure, but it looked pretty funny nonetheless. So, kill the MiG-23 and we are on our merry way. And that's an F-5E on my 6. And I would try to dogfight him, but there's another guy right next to him, so I'm not really going to kill myself. Get missiles from the side there. Luckily it was pre-flaring. I saw a little dot, a little mark on the radar, and I just thought, pop some flares. Managed to work. bleed the missile of its speed right here, go left and right a little bit after it burns up. And I will outclimb the F-4E like this, and he manages to, I don't know what he did. He died. Doesn't matter. That's perfect for me. Now we are going to be turning into the F5s and try to get a head on out. Try to go head on here, get a little bit closer, shoot a little bit more than I should, dodge that head on, don't manage to get a shot in here at all, not gonna full commit, it's not worth the risk. And we are again using this acceleration at this certain speed to get away here, and Dream Tree in the F-4E is going to get a crit on one of the F5s. So we need to remember that. That Grin V, whatever his name is now crit. He's getting engaged by a 21 bis, as well as 2 F5s now. One is crit, one is not. They're both F-5Es, and all these 3 planes are pretty damn scary. So I need to pick one that I want to kill. I know the other one is crit, so my priority right now is going for the one that isn't. I'm cruising a little bit without the afterburner because I want to save some fuel for late game, in case these guys are running 20 minutes and they have to RTB before me. And right now I'm not really in any kind of imminent danger. Just extending away, opening up the gap. We will start burning again momentarily after we waste some time, because that's essentially what I'm doing right here. There's a lot of people in the air, especially that MiG-21 bis is going to be an absolute pain in the ass. I got the guy that's crit on my 6. Couldn't tell what fuel loads these guys are running, other than the bis, who's probably going to run a full tank, but I'm not sure if these F5s are on either 20 or min, and I need to know that, but I want to have some fuel late game in order to turn this around, because I'm gonna need one of those guys to RTB. That's just how it is. Especially in the mirror matchup, you don't want to reverse yourself with another plane that has energy out the ass. Dream Tree is gonna go down, making it a 2v4. I go ahead on with the MiG-23, instantly making it a 3v2 again. And the F-4E is coming in quite rapid here. Go ahead on with the other F5. Manage to just shoot around him. Kind of drew an awkward line. F-4E is gonna go full commit. He manages to die. And now it's 3v1. And it's going to be a pretty long one. It's going to be a pretty... it's more of playing chess than actually dogfighting. The dogfights are at the end. I will timestamp the actual dogfights where I'm not just extending, where I'm not just trying to get separation and positioning. So if you don't care about me extending and the knowledge behind that kind of thing, feel free to skip it. And I will have the timestamps down below for the actual dogfights themselves. F5 shoots its second missile at me. And now he's going to be, well, he only has to, he's going to be out of missiles. The MiG-21 I'm not too sure on yet. Looks like one of the F5s is going to go RTB. So now it's 2v1. Because that other guy flew away from me. And that MiG-21 bis is not going to be having the most amount of fuel anymore. So what am I going to do? I'm going to be flying as far away from the airfield as I possibly can. For the simple reason that it's going to take the other guy longer. I'm going to need some time here to set up. And I'm going to run that MiG-21 bis out of fuel. Dodge the R60, start pulling in. Notice that the 21 bis pulls off instantaneously, which is good. Dodge the shots here, he didn't have an angle. Go under him, and look at the speed I'm maintaining here. I'm still going Mach 1. And that's just the beauty of this aircraft. But again, be careful that you don't compress because you're going too fast, because the control surfaces at Mach 1 are not very responsive, believe it or not. I'm trying to not fly towards the AA because I don't want to win the game on airfield AA. It's kind of boring. There's no SAMs on this anyway, but still, I don't like using it. It looks bad on footage, and it doesn't feel right with me. Go ahead on with a MiG-21. He dodges in the perfect time. I thought I had him there, but he dodged the exact second he could. Or the latest moment he could, because if he dodged that a little bit later, he would have imploded right then and there. And again, because I maintain so much speed at these turns, and these high speed turns, I can run away from the MiG-21 bis long enough until he runs out of fuel. And if he starts not using the afterburner, I can very easily kill him. At this point it's confirmed that F5 is running the same fuel load as me or more, and if he's running more I can easily win the dogfight. And because I've been extending away every time, this time he's probably going to try to keep his speed. So I'm going to cut my afterburner, instantly get on his 6. MiG-21 coming in, need to be careful of that, but he's coming in from a very awkward angle, which is why I forced the turn fight to begin with. And I can do it again. I'm going to simply run away. And that's just kind of what I'm doing right here. I notice that he starts flaring, and because he's flaring I'm going to assume he's just dumping all his flares because he's going to RTB anyway. Could have been an epic mind game on his end, but looks like I read it the right way. Go ahead on with the F-5E, and now we are on similar fuel loads. I start turning, I get on top of him here, and I'm already in a favorable position, and I'm going to get the shot here very, very quickly, get on his 6 very, very easily, start turning into him, cut off his loop, get right on his 6, manage to get the crit in, damage off tail, keep looking around in case that MiG-21 suddenly decides to go back, shoot one more little shot, he's gonna get set on fire, and he's gonna go into the water to extinguish it. And that's gonna be kill number 4. Now it's 2v1. But I don't know where the MiG-21 base is. I'm going to assume back to base. And the F-5E is killing vehicles in the middle of the map. I'm spotted right now because I have the Avenger on me. So I'm gonna be pretending to fly back to the airfield. And then fly straight to him. Stay on the deck. Stay rapid. I know he sees me. He sees a massive Mac cone on the ground. He's gonna be going right for me. No use for me to turn the radar off. He's spraying his absolute heart out. But he's also on maybe min fuel right now, but it doesn't matter because I'm on 4 minutes. So it doesn't matter what he brought. I'm gonna be lighter than him. So I can be very, very aggressive here. I want to kill him as quickly as I can. Not really worried about the ammo. I still have, well, 65 rounds per gun. And if I manage to just crit him, I can probably missile him considering the distance that we have. Shoot a little burst at him. Not sure how that missed. Probably underlet a little bit. Doesn't really matter. I'm still firm on his 6 and I can tell that I have much, much, much less fuel than him. And I'm just out-turning him without actually putting any effort in at all. Start dropping the flaps. I just want to wrap this up as quickly as I can because I need to land and then make sure that I'm back in the air before that MiG-21 BIS comes in. Managed to get a crit in. He's flying straight. He's not really moving. There you go. Aim 9J up your ass. And we are going back to base. And we are taking min fuel this time. Because I don't want to be too heavy fighting a MiG-21 BIS. Because he will win the dogfight if you go prolonged. He goes very passive here. He really doesn't want to take it. So I'm just going to extend away too. I'm going to keep my speed and want to keep my speed somewhat high. And not sure what he's trying to do here. He has all the acceleration in the world. And by waiting this long, he's allowing me to get my speed back up. Which is the one thing he doesn't want to do. The slower we go, the bigger the advantage on his end becomes. I will have some more energy at the start, but the longer it goes on, the more energy he will generate. And I'm expecting him to be pretty passive again, so I'm just going to force the head-on, the pull in here. I'm going to get right on his 6. Shoot a little burst at him. Not sure how it misses, and again, I go back to the replay. And it managed to actually hit him. Hit about 6 shells there, but it doesn't matter, because he's my aim 9J. And that's going to be game. GG, hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. At least the video, the game is something else. And that's all I have for you today. Not sure what I'm gonna put out tomorrow. It's probably not gonna be a patch vehicle. Because I just need to take a break from this game, even if it's just a single day. So, well, I hope you enjoyed the video more than I enjoyed the MiG-23. Feel free to check out that video as well, the MiG-23, while I'm having a mental breakdown. Because you people seem to enjoy that kind of thing. And there you have it. F-5E Freedom Fighter. And we'll see you all probably tomorrow or the day after.